are live again with a, episode 51 of Massive Nyarlathotep with Maxine, Lottie, and William, played by Matt, Slip, and Rogue. So, let's pick up where we left off. I'm sure William remembers how it ended. He was graciously sent on an indeterminate leave. He hasn't had much vacation time lately, so he has been released.
Yes.
And we were in Cairo. So, and I will remind you to have Sirenscape running. It looks like you do. Excellent. And, yep, so what do you do now? I believe you all can rejoin one another outside the residency.
Yeah, we had just found out that William gotten.
Sorry, I have to speak up a little bit because you're really low. I've got you cranked all the way.
Again? I was fine just a minute ago.
No, I have you cranked at 200% and can sort of hear you.
Matt says she can hear me.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I have everything pretty cranked on my end, just in general.
I can raise the volume.
That would be good.
This is
much better.
That's better?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
far
10 times better.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you do?
We had to refresh. We had, I think, all William had gotten from there was some dictionaries, right?
Dictionary, stationery.
Yes, the stationery. Yep.
Yeah. And was trying to be merry, his usual self, but you could tell he was a little disturbed by it, but trying to keep up and.
Mm-hmm.
So he looks to the others and there's a sigh. He sigh and. Right? Oh, what do we do?
Maxine kind of shrugs. Look, I'm not exactly sure. I know that they're going to have something planned in a few days, and we're going to want to be able to follow them. But, I've got... Is it just me? Does anybody else have a bad feeling about the boss of Dr. Kafour?
Don't know. Maybe, but I can't really be sure.
I just know when he was talking about them scrolls and books he was studying that had stuff on Nyarlathotep, I think he mentioned that he had given it to someone he trusted to take, keep hold of it, to take care of it. I might be misremembering. He might have just said he hid it somewhere, but that's what I think I remember, and that could have been this fella. And then sorts of things, well, from what I understand, kind of a corrupting influence. Or they can, anyway.
Not quite sure. I don't think I was there for that conversation.
Dr. Kafour himself, I think, is a straight arrow. Maybe a little too much of a straight arrow. I don't think he's suspicious enough. But his boss, I don't know. I mean, it could be just the cult just had already acted, or as soon as he told his boss, though, that it would have been a good way to get intelligence over to them in time for them to, well, create such a humiliating encounter today. Or yesterday. That was today, wasn't it?
That would be yesterday.
Yesterday. Everything's starting to blur together. Anyway, part of me'd like to get inside that fella's office and see what I can see, but that would require breaking into the museum after hours, and honestly, I don't know what kind of security they've got.
You have seen when you've been in and out of the museum, you've noted maybe 2 or 3 Egyptian policemen just kind of either stationed around or just sort of patrolling around, walking around, not expecting trouble, obviously, but present.
What about entrances and exits that aren't the front door?
Well, let's see. Let's pull up the museum map. Excuse me. There's obviously the main entrance. Other than that, it looks like there is going to be a rear entrance where the LL is at the very top. But other than that, it doesn't appear that there would be other entrances.
No windows that would be accessible from...
There are very small windows just to let some lighting in. And then there would be the roof would have actually, I think, has some glass at the top to let in some natural light into the main central area of the museum.
But this isn't like one of those village houses where you would climb to the top on a ladder.
Oh, heck no. No. Mm-mm. Getting up to the top does not look easy. Not impossible, certainly, but you would need, some specialized equipment like a grappling hook or something.
I may just be antsy, after something like yesterday makes you want to take action, but I'll let cooler heads prevail. That's not something you're interested in.
I understand. Well, and she turns to William.
I was just going to say, William looks over at Lottie and pretty much to get her viewpoint first.
I'm not sure exactly what we should be doing at this point. I mean, we could go back to the Clive expedition and just watch them, see where they're going, if they have anything to do with what's going to be happening in the next few days. But otherwise, besides the researching what we have and seeing if we can decipher with the those dictionaries you got, I'm not really sure what else we can do.
Yeah. Well, it's not that long of a drive out there, but I wouldn't want to miss them leaving for sure. Gosh, where are we on the calendar?
I think about 5 days out or so, maybe.
It is Saturday the 21st.
For
Is the museum usually... Oh, it's probably open on Saturdays, isn't it? Because touristy.
No. could get inside while it's open. And perhaps we could a hiding spot.
Yeah, that's an idea.
I'm not
Which-
sure if they want to be seeing us anytime soon. It's the only thing.
Yeah, we'd have to avoid Dr. Kafour for sure. But, he's usually in his office. Thinking back to walking through the museum, can we think of any place that would have been a good place to kind of hide out? Behind some big statues, or I know there's probably no ladies' room in there or anything, but like pose like cavemen in the caveman exhibit.
That's what I thought of. Just pose.
Definitely. Well, and there's almost certainly some reasonable hiding places. You just don't really know their search routine when they close up. So it's a little, risky as to what is a good spot. But that doesn't mean... there's definitely got to be some busy exhibits that you could crouch down behind. It would just be uncomfortable for a while. You'd have to, but decent. If you can pick a lock, there may be like a locked closet somewhere. There's certainly some maintenance, a couple of maintenance rooms.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be the way to go then. We'll go in tomorrow and look for a maintenance room. We'll hang out in a section that we don't think Dr. Kafour will come in. And actually, is it still open right now, or is it too late in the day?
I believe it would still be open.
You guys want to try that? You guys want to give it a try? Try to hang out in some janitor's closet? It'd be kind of cozy, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Still, we try it. You could always go with the journals. We'll wait.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I'm not really comfortable with tight spaces much now, but I'll suck it up. It'll be fine.
Let's... we're going to be in a museum, and there's some valuable stuff in there. Let's see if we can actually find some batteries for this electric torch I got at the bazaar.
What are you thinking there?
Actually, we have the flashlights from Shelley.
We do.
Yeah. Let's make sure everybody has one.
Okay. Yeah, sure you can find some batteries in not too long a period of time. It's not super easy to get batteries. There isn't much call for them. But, okay. So you grab yourself some batteries and you go to the museum?
Yep.
All right. Let's move down to the map.
Now we know that Dr. Kafour is in the P room.
Yes.
Avoid the P room.
So let's go to a different floor maybe, and try to scope out a closet, and B, we don't want to go in there right away. Find just a quiet corner to stay in.
Right. We also want to avoid Kafour's boss as well.
That's true.
Okay, so you make your way to the second floor to make it much less likely that you'll run into Kafour, and hang out there. So you kind of, as you're now kind of looking, you can see that the maintenance type offices are on the second floor, and the administrative offices are below that on the first floor, on either side here, like including the rooms where you went to look at the stuff earlier in the back room.
Clive Expedition's on the first floor.
Yes.
Should we be wearing our disguises?
Wait,
They'll bring that up while they're driving, I guess.
I think that might be a good idea. Don't want to get discovered on our.
Well,
even
is
just
it?
perusing.
Does it usually white people in the museum? Would it make us stand out more, or do?
It's really a mix of people, but as I recall, I thought that your local disguise was more humble. That would probably be present in the museum. That would stand out a little more. It was meant to look more like somebody on the street than some wealthy person. Not that there aren't any. I mean, there are some people allowed in here. If you don't look like a troublemaker, they don't boot you out.
You're probably best to stay in our regular outfits.
Yes.
Okay, so you just kind of browse around upstairs and try to stay out of sight, or what's the purpose here? You've got, let's just say you've got like 2 hours left before the museum closes.
Yeah, browse around for a bit, and then I guess when it gets closer to closing time, I mean, do we see like the janitors kind of do their last rounds or anything at some point? Or I guess we wouldn't know it was their last rounds, but I guess we don't want to hide in the closet when they're going to go in there still, is what I'm saying. So if we see them go out and then come back in to put supplies back, that would be a good indicator that that's a good time to go in.
Yeah.
And want to get a vantage point on his office at some point, like see if he's in there.
Oh yeah, you've got binoculars. You could stand up on the gallery and kind of keep an eye on it.
Just stand there with binoculars. That's...
If anybody's looking, I would put them away. I wanted to get a vantage point on the Clive Expedition too, or at least walk by and check it out if it.
Yeah, that's in room P. It's being set up there. That's where Dr. Kafour is likely to be. You can walk by there. It's a small exhibit. There aren't a lot of pieces. It doesn't look like they're making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe try to keep an eye and see when Dr. Kafour leaves from up in the gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see him, well, let's see. He's got to go back out. He typically goes out and down into his offices. So if you're on the second floor, you're really not going to see him unless you really can't see him. You can't watch him from above. But it's easy enough to maybe, you can loiter around on the first floor down there and watch and see him go out if that's what you're looking for. Easy enough.
How about getting some practice with this janitor's closet lock? and someone
Mhm.
keep a lookout for me so that
Yeah, definitely.
if someone's coming, leave it
Sure.
alone.
I'll keep eyes out.
All right. Um, give me a try on the old locksmith roll.
William will lean up against the wall and have like the tourist map out and be looking at it, kind of standing in front of her.
I'd say William and Lottie are impressed at how quickly Maxine gets the door open. Now, whether it's a really simple lock, which Maxine, it is a pretty simple lock, as you notice as you're doing it. But she gets the door open, and there's nobody inside. There aren't that many people here in the janitorial way. If you kind of watch the area, there's just a couple people that go in and out, a couple of men. The janitor, the closet itself is reasonably spacious, and it is, as you were probably hoping, quite chaotic in there. There are a lot of it's not just a janitor closet for cleaning supplies and things like that. It also has it's being used as sort of a makeshift overflow storage area. So there are large pillars and like wooden chests and things that have been, from various points in history, just kind of, positioned around the room. Plenty of spaces for you to hide behind in here in case somebody happens to walk in.
Awesome. Well, half an hour, 15 minutes before closing, you guys want to go in?
You should.
All right. When the coast is clear, let's get in there, and then we'll lock the door from the inside.
Yep. Okay. Well, there's plenty of opportunities to get in there close to closing time. I'll just need somebody not to fumble on their luck. Maxine.
Oh, jeez.
Every time.
All right, so we said
Always.
no fumble, right?
Just don't want to fumble. That would mean the timing just a fail, but not a fumble.
Ooh,
lucky.
too close for comfort,
A
though.
little close for comfort there, yes. You were about to move on the door, and as you're approaching it, the door opens, and a janitor you haven't seen before, like the evening crew that's going to come and clean, is coming out with a mop and a bucket in one hand and a mop in the other, and followed by another guy that you haven't seen before, with like a broom. So they're talking and laughing with one another. So it was a little bit of a close call. You were almost at the door starting to unlock it, and they come out. And they ignore you and go on.
Yeah.
And then you can go in, and I'm not going to make you roll because you succeeded straight off on the first try. So this lock is a pushover for you. So you can do it very quickly.
Yeah, she'll make a show of it. Look like she's really concentrating.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody in.
Okay. You guys go in and find a hiding spot, and so now the question is, how long are you waiting, or what are you waiting for?
Oh, definitely long enough for any cleaning to be done. Dark outside.
So any cleaning to be done, they're gonna come back to the room when they're
Yeah,
done.
but they might have been cleaning after hours, which is what janitors usually do. So
Yes.
we kind of got.
Yep. Well, that's
And
yes.
Kafour to leave, right?
They're going out to start cleaning almost at closing time, so they're going to be out for a while.
Yeah,
So
I
they're
think
definitely doing the cleanup after the patrons are all gone.
I think it's best to just sit tight.
The objective is to wait for Kafour to leave so we can get into his office, correct?
Yeah, and everybody else, so that we have more, less chance of getting caught in here.
Okay.
Hide under a tarp or behind boxes and
Mm-hmm.
away from the brooms and mops.
Yes. All right. So you do wait, and it's really. I mean, so what do you? Yeah, if for a couple hours you have to wait. Um, and annoyingly, there's a couple times where a janitor will come in, grab something, and leave. But it's clear that they're not done. And then finally, a couple hours, maybe almost 3 hours later, really, they finally kind of all sort of come in and put stuff away, and they stand here in this room and talk for a few minutes. And those of you who speak Arabic, uh, it's nothing. It's just after work gossip and chat. Nothing of any interest at all. And they're laughing, and they clearly are not eager to get home to their wives. So they keep this conversation going, and you're there getting increasingly impatient. And I just want Lottie to make a power check. Uh-oh. Okay, so the the trying to hold your breath sort of thing, be super quiet is starting to get to you. And you're starting to feel a little bit trapped in here. And they just keep talking and talking, and you're starting to itch and need to move, and it's getting harder and harder to just be quiet.
William see this, her uncomfortableness or anything?
Make a spot hidden check for me. We'll see if you
I think
notice.
he's got psychology or something.
Psychology or spot hidden, either one would be fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, let's do the psychology. That's good.
So you don't notice. You're more concentrating on yourself. Just you're listening and trying to just stay quiet. So Lottie, what do you do to try to
Lottie is
keep it
gonna.
together?
She'll reach out, and if there's anyone, whether it's William or Maxine, kind of near her, she'll kind of reach out and grab their arm or their hand and just dig her nails into their just to try and just almost like a stress ball. It's just squeeze.
Okay. Well, that is Maxine, whose arm you grab and squeeze. So Maxine, you try a power roll. She's sort of transferring her. So you're a little surprised by this, but you keep your mouth quiet. And what does Maxine do?
Yeah, she is startled by this and turns and looks at Lottie with kind of wide eyes, like, what's wrong? Do you see something that I'm not seeing? And then she just sees the stressed look on her face, and she thinks a little bit about what Lottie's been through. And she takes Lottie's hand and puts it inside her hand, kind of holds her hand and reaches into her purse, pulls out a stick of gum. She holds it up to Lottie.
Lottie will look over and quietly, as quickly as she can, just takes it with a nod, puts it in her mouth.
Okay, well, the simple act of doing that and starting to chew kind of takes your mind off of it a little bit, at least long enough for them to finally leave the room and close the door behind them, and you hear them lock it behind them. And then you can hear their footsteps slowly receding down the stone corridor.
Finally.
Lottie immediately just stands up and finally gets out of this room.
So, Maxine, quick work of that lock.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it was pretty simple. I mean, I cut my teeth on locks tougher than that one. I mean, when you're done broke into some vaults and bank safes, a lock like that on a janitor's closet. That's
let's
basic.
let's talk even more doing there, Maxine.
Yeah, well, let's go stretch our legs a little bit. Give them a couple minutes to leave, and then we'll be out of here, and you can get some air.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, you wait. I assume like what, about 15 minutes or so.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay.
And no voices or
No, it sounds quiet.
steps. It's dark outside now.
Yes. Yep. The sun went down about half an hour ago.
Are we? If the doctor's out.
Hopefully he's not working late.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, that's all we can hope for. A couple hours after closing time, so he's got to go home sometime.
So, get caught. We do. He looks at both of them. Like,
Lottie just shrugs.
I don't know. I don't break into places.
let's run then. Suppose that's best.
Right. Running does sound good. Let's go.
Yeah, William will start towing towards that area. If they can get a vantage point on the office at all, do that. But if not, slowly make the way down the stairs or.
Yep. You just have to. You're right outside. You go down the stairs, and the offices are down here, and the office of Dr. Malik is right here, very close to the stairs. So it couldn't be any quicker from where you are.
Leak.
Yeah, this is the guy that I'd honestly like to see, although I know you wanted to see Kafour's office. This is the guy I'm curious about.
Yes, you're right. Actually, check it out.
So I guess we approached the door, and is there any light coming from underneath?
Maxine, make a luck check for me. You happen to be the one again. It's random. I'm not picking on you.
Randomly always like
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, hey, the universe can pick on you, but not me.
No! Bad rollers.
Yes, there is light under the door.
Uh-oh. There's light. He might still be here. Let's head over to Kafour's office first, and then maybe come back in a...
Sure, but
And Lottie is gonna gently press her ear to the door just to listen, to see if she hears any voices.
Okay. Go ahead and do a listen.
Oh my goodness.
No, you don't hear anything.
I don't hear anything, but we can try Kafour first.
William seems a little disappointed too, but nods.
Can't stay in there all night. So let's give it a little time.
Cultish
I mean,
room.
I might have just forgot to turn the lights off. The lights in here are electric, right? Or did we notice in Kafour's office that he lights things by
No,
oil
there
lamp?
there is electricity in the museum. Yes. It's very modern. You do, however, you can hear the echoing of footsteps slowly, kind of easily walking along somewhere, probably out here in the main room, kind of coming closer. Not at a very quick pace, but you figure they might come into view in the next 30 seconds or so.
Oh shit, we gotta
We-
move.
Back to the stairs, maybe.
Mhm.
Stairwell.
Okay. So you make it back to the stairs quietly, and what's your? Actually, it's I need somebody to make a stealth check. That would be you, William.
That's pretty good. I think he's stealthy.
I'll give you a bonus die on this one. Okay. Yep, you guys make it back to the stairs quietly. You don't hear any change of pace of the footsteps. So what are you doing at the steps? Are you peering around the corner? Are you just hiding at the steps, or are you?
Yeah. I think William's peeking.
Okay.
After they all get back behind the steps, he kind of just peeks out just a bit, maybe just his eyes, just to see if it was like a security guard going back to the front, or if I want to know if he's coming this way, because we would probably recede further up the steps. And
Right. Um, it is an Egyptian police officer. He just walks into the gallery, or to the main foyer here, and just sort of he just kind of looks around, um, uh, and then he starts walking your direction generally. Yes, I'll bet you wish they would. So
he's walking this way.
Yeah, he hasn't seen you, but if you continue peering out at him, he very well might. And your assumption is he's going to walk, right either to the stairs or here and then go this way.
Yeah.
You're not really sure what he's going to do, obviously, but he's clearly coming this direction, like he's still on sort of his route.
William will back up and go, and kind of wave for them to go up the stairs. And
Yeah, I think that's probably what we should do. Go up the stairs, wait for him to go by.
Mm-hmm. Just in case.
then,
Okay. Lottie, stealth check with a bonus die, please.
Oh boy. Not badly I'm good at this.
That's a fail. It doesn't mean it's an automatic. Okay. So you guys make it up the stairs, although to Maxine and William, Lottie's shoes at one point kind of clopped a little hard on those stone steps, and you can imagine somebody maybe hearing it down there.
Yeah, Maxine, once they get up there, looks at Lottie, reaches down, and she pulls off her own shoes and tucks them in her bag,
Yeah.
holds it out.
Lottie will do the same, give Maxine her shoes, and then try to, if there's somewhere else that they can hide up here, just kind of creep around, hide behind something else just in case someone comes up the stairs.
Okay. Well, you wait, but fortunately for you, you can hear downstairs the regular footsteps of the police officer, and they get a little closer and then they recede, and they haven't really changed pace at all.
So, is there an upper level here too, or is
Yes.
that
Yep.
like?
Yes, there is.
So we could kind of just walk around. Where the only places to go up and down are here, though, right? Or here?
There's stairs here too at the front. Yes. So there's four
Okay,
staircases.
I guess what we're doing is just kind of waiting until we're on the opposite cycle of try to time it on this guy's route and make it over, go down the stairs and head over to Kafour's office when we've got the most time to.
Is it Kafour or the other guy, Malik?
Well, he had light under the door.
Okay, so you want to.
So
Yeah. So I mean, you can just cross right over and down those steps and be at his offices.
yeah, is there light underneath this?
Are you going there?
Are we headed to Kafour's office?
Yes.
Let's
Okay.
do that.
All right, you get to these stairs, and before you go down, you can see there is a police officer making the rounds on the second floor as well. But he's way down at the other end here.
Okay. I guess that's our cue to head down there.
It would do it.
Yeah, it is a different person. Okay, so you go to Dr. Kafour's office. The locks are similar, but not the same. Go ahead, Maxine, and make a locksmith check. Oh, nice.
Yes.
In fact, this one was so easy for you that, I mean, you can unlock it in your sleep. You could basically pick this lock in about 5 seconds if you needed to.
I do my best work under pressure.
And there is no light under the door there.
All right. So yeah, we go in.
Okay. You go in and you can see, you have been in his office before. It's a fairly simple place. He is fairly neat and organized. It certainly looks like he has, everything's in nice, neat order, so he's probably not here. And there's the connecting room off of his office. It's like the workshop, if you will, where they catalog and inspect stuff. So what are you looking for? What's the deal?
Hume is going
Maxine?
to go into the second room and
Okay.
kind of look at the catalog stuff and any finds, and especially any finds if they're from the
Carlisle.
yeah.
Not Carlisle, the Clive.
Yeah.
The two C's. They shouldn't be two C's, but they are. So yeah, well that room is a little bit in contrast to his office. It might be ordered as far as Dr. Kafour is concerned, but it looks very messy to you. There are 4 tables in the room, and they are littered with little objects of art from obviously Egyptian objects. And then along the walls there are shelves with crates and vases and jars and all kinds of things that have yet to be categorized or have been categorized and deemed not important enough to have a show area yet. So it's quite a mess in there as far as like making sense of what's going on.
Yeah. I think he would, and specifically looking for like anything with those strange symbols that we saw. The weird.
Okay.
Unidentified. That's what William's probably doing.
Well, William, give me a luck check to see if anything jumps out at you, or spot hidden. I'll leave it to you to decide. Do you want to be lucky or you want to be good? That is a fail. You can push it if you want, or spend 2 luck.
Yeah.
If you push it, there is a chance. Something unfortunate will happen if you push and fail.
I definitely don't want to push, but if I can spend 2 luck, yeah.
You can. So you find a crate that is labeled in Arabic, which you can fortunately read. That is labeled Clive Expedition, and you can pull that off the shelf. It's actually been shelved. What are the girls doing while he's doing that?
Max knows nothing of archaeology, but she does know about secrets. And if she had her hands on some secret mystical scrolls, she would not be able to give them up to somebody else. So maybe he gave some of them up, but maybe he kept something. And she's going to look through the office. She's going to take out the drawers in the desk and look for things taped up on top, that sort of thing.
Okay. And what about Lottie?
Lottie's gonna look for. She's actually gonna go through some of the paperwork, any of the missives that maybe he's received recently. Maybe, especially after a day, if he received something from the authorities regarding what happened the previous day from his boss.
Yes. Okay.
Or anything threatening.
Okay. So let's start with William. You are actually, that would take the longest to find that. So the most obvious, Lottie, I'm going to let you make a spot hidden check. And I'll give you a bonus die. Okay, there you go. Success. So yes, you do find actually a notice from Dr. Malik, like an inter-office memo kind of thing from Dr. Malik that is telling Dr. Kafour that his request to further explore and excavate the pyramid is denied. That the Egyptian authorities want no more scandal around this. And Dr. Kafour is to cease all research into the Clive expedition, and to not bother him again about it.
Okay. Yeah, Lottie makes note of that.
Maxine, you can make a spot hidden for me.
She's not great at it.
You can push it if you want as well, but something unfortunate would
No,
happen.
no.
No. All right. So William, you pull this crate out, and actually, by the time Lottie and Maxine have scoured the office, because there really isn't that much to look through, you hear William pulling this crate out in the other room.
Yeah, Max grits her teeth at the sound and looks over at Lottie, kind of jerks her head in that direction.
And Lottie, she does the same and hurries over. What are you doing?
And I assume he just kind of thumps it down on the table. There are a number of carefully sorted artifacts in here, and some papers.
Him makes that face as they kind of come into the room and kind of like a sorry, a bit loud.
You're right, it's a bit loud.
Look at this.
What exactly am I looking at?
Lottie, I assume, should make the archaeology roll.
Alright.
And any one of you can make an occult or Cthulhu Mythos roll, depending on...
Oh, goodness.
Oh my.
Can I push it?
Sure.
I'm going to do it. I want this roll. Yes.
All right. You spend a little extra time kind of looking at it. You're looking for things that are unusual. I mean, there's lots of ordinary funerary objects in here that are of no real interest. So you're getting a little frustrated, and because you expect there's got to be something interesting in here. And you look through, and the only thing you find, you start getting, you realize there's little slips of paper in here, and you've sort of been moving them out of the way to look for items. And then you look at the slips of paper, and they're all little receipts for things that have been removed. And they list specific objects. There are scrolls that have been removed. There's one that's called Unusual Queen Shabti that has been removed. There are a couple of unidentified statuettes. There are 2 in there. And they've all been removed by order of Dr. Malik.
Oh. And where have they... Does it say where they went to at all?
It just says that they've been taken out under the into the what's the word? Care of Dr. Malik.
Lottie gonna point this out.
Look here, I think everything that Malik's been taking and signing out and whatnot there's something to it.
Max kind of pats her nose and she says, I knew it. I can smell a crook a block away, but normally that means I end up dating him. But in this case, no way. He's not my type.
That's good then.
Yeah.
You can. I will point out, Lottie, too, that you have seen Dr. Kafour's handwriting, and it's all these little notes are in Dr. Kafour's handwriting.
She points...
These are all in Kafour's handwriting.
He's got to have his suspicions. We got to get into that office. What was that letter you picked up from the desk? Interesting?
He was telling Kafour not to look into or do any digging through the pyramid anymore. Basically, similar to, well, what's been happening in general. I think that Malik's definitely part of it.
It's starting to look that way. Good find, William. You really lucked out there.
William thinks about it for a moment, and he's like, no.
At the worst possible moment, when there's a police officer walking outside the office.
My phone's on the desk and vibrating so loud. Oh no!
Ring, ring, ring.
Someone stepped on a duck.
You're carrying a giant crank phone.
They're
around
asking to
with you.
clean your air ducts.
I think we spend some time then putting the place back together.
Okay. Yep.
Oh,
And she
looks to Maxine. Do you happen to have a mirror at all?
Oh, think about who you're talking to. And she reaches into her bag and pulls out a compact.
She points to it. You think you could slide that under Malik's door to see if you can get a view of the room?
It's possible. I mean, I don't know how much I'd be able to see other than, maybe the furniture, it possibly his feet.
Well, if there's no feet, maybe you just left the light on.
I mean, it's entirely possible he just left the lights on. It's also possible that he left while we was in here. But if anybody hears any, like sinister chanting coming from in there, are we gonna bust in or are we gonna stay out?
I think
See Williams like, you see Williams like been thinking about this for a while, and he's like, no, they let me go. Any mention I had of Shakti, despised it every time I mentioned it. I believe that's why. Give me the leave of absence, because I kept bringing up the name.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like poking a hornet's nest around here. Taking down Clive's one thing. Trying to take down a public figure like Shakti, even if they know he's no good. I just, we're kind of on our own unless we can really prove anything. But you got your camera, William?
Yeah. Exactly. He starts to dig it out if he can.
Okay.
You're thinking about taking a picture of stuff.
Yeah, just in case. And then there might be stuff later on we want to take a picture of.
Yeah. Maybe if we should take a picture of the letter and stuff like that.
just in case, but I don't think it's gonna change anything. I think if we even bring anything of this to the authorities, I feel like Shakti is just too much of a grasp.
Maxine's going to look for any other things other than the letter that are written by Malik so she can get a handwriting sample.
Okay. Oh, there's plenty of things from Malik that are, just simple, legit things in his desk that you can get to know his handwriting quite well.
She'll take some of it. I guess after we're done taking some pictures, we'll go try the get into Malik's office again.
Okay. Just go down the hall.
I mean, we're gonna be careful, like
Yeah.
open the.
Okay. Lottie, give me a luck check, please.
Sure.
Yeah. You guys get down there and don't see or hear anyone, and you're at the door.
Lights on.
The light is still on.
Try the mirror thing.
If they've got time between the patrols, Max will kind of hold the mirror down at the floor. She'll lean over, try to get a look at the reflection, see if she can spot anything in there.
Well, Maxine, that's first. I know it's a lot of luck checks, but give me a luck check first. Okay, you feel like you can get a reasonable scan of the room. I mean, it's not a very good one. It's just the very, bottom inch swath of room. But
Yeah, plus they're peeking through keyhole, maybe.
Yeah, but you might be. So give me a spot hidden check then. Or actually, I'm sorry, I take that back. Make it an intelligence roll. We'll do. This isn't really spotting hidden stuff. Okay. You scan around. You are reasonably sure, a normal success is worth sure, that the office is empty. You don't see any feet. And you haven't heard any sounds.
She'll stand up, put the mirror away, and look at the others and nod and pull out her lock-picking tools. Get going on it.
Yeah, you've already. Oh no, you haven't touched this one yet. Go ahead and go for it.
Jeez. I'm gonna spend the luck.
Spend the luck. Yeah. Okay. Yep. You get it open. It takes you a little bit. You were over
sweaty fingers.
Yeah, a little overconfident for a moment, and but then you get it.
Maxine.
She almost dropped her tools for a second, and she kind of lets out a whew. All right, I got it. And she opens the door and pushes it open. And steps inside quickly, motioning to the others.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and fortunately you are correct. The office is empty. And unlike Kafour's office, there is no adjoining workroom. It's just an office. And it's nice, very well appointed, much nicer than Kafour's. And it's got two, leather chairs opposite the director's chair. Clearly this is meant to impress potential donors and things like that.
Let's toss this place. We'll do it the nice way to start out, but if we don't find nothing, I'm tearing this place apart.
Okay.
William's gonna lock the door as be the last one in and make sure the door is locked.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, it can be locked. In fact, it has a little slide bolt from inside. Mm-hmm. Okay. So who's looking like? So there's desk. There's like a records cabinet, and then there's like a bookshelf with Western titles in various languages. Obviously, he either speaks a lot of languages or wants people to think he can.
I'm gonna look through the desk just to see if there's like just the letters that he's received, or
Okay.
copies that he sent out.
Well, right on the desk is a draft, not a formal finished version, but a draft of a letter to Lord Allenby. And it states in summary that that yesterday's fiasco has only served to deepen the divide between Egypt and Britain, and that it has come to the committee's attention that the British authorities are not being discreet in their inquiries concerning the Clive expedition, and it is the committee's request that all further investigation be handled by Egyptian authorities. At the risk of creating further problems between our two governments, is how it's stated. Which, to William's mind, that's a little presumptuous to say our two governments.
Yeah. William sees this letter. She shows it to him.
Yeah, I mean, you can see her pick it up. It's right there on the desk in draft form.
You can tell he definitely shows an emotional response and kind of angry by the letter. Face is all furrowed.
I know it's frustrating, dear William, but we just gotta keep pushing through. Maybe.
Should have been more discreet.
You didn't know.
Yeah, you gotta deal with these folks for a while before you realize how snake-like they really are. Max goes over to the bookshelves and she starts picking the books off one by one. She opens them up facing the floor to let anything fall out, and then she looks behind him.
Yep. Okay, and Lottie and William.
If there's a back room, I think Lottie's going to search that.
There is no back room.
Has Lottie actually searched the desk, or was that?
No, she just saw that right on top. It was in plain view. It required no searching.
Yeah, she'd search the desk then, just for maybe anything from. Oh gosh, what's this evil McEvil face? I can't remember his name.
Gavigan.
Evil McEvil face.
Gavigan and also al-Shakti. There we go.
Okay.
And Cosby.
All right, William, what is your contribution?
Are there other artifacts in here as well?
There are a few that are just decorative. This is not a storage place for artifacts, however. This is just an office.
What else, I'm sorry, was there to search through?
There's the records cabinet.
There's a records cabinet.
Ah, yeah.
I'll unlock it if it needs to get unlocked.
It does, but it's an easy lock, so you can do a locksmith with a bonus die.
Can I get another bonus die if she just takes her time?
You can push it if you take your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I failed.
Mm-hmm.
I will, if I push it, something bad happens. Like either she breaks the lock or she breaks the cabinet.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, she'll try it. All right.
Okay. You find it takes you a little while, and you're actually a little embarrassed because this is easier than the doors. But for some reason, your hands are shaky. But you eventually kind of take a deep breath and pop it open.
Sorry about that. I'm getting excited, I guess.
And William can go to town on those. All right, so Lottie, why don't you do the spot hidden for me for the desk?
Sure. Yes.
Ah, okay. You find the financial kind of financial records, the accounting stuff, which is, you're not an accountant, but it's not hard to figure out names and amounts, and you can see that 2 days ago, Omar al-Shakti made a very large donation to the museum.
Of course. He's already in al-Shakti's pocket.
Deserves a photograph, I think.
William, you can do your spot hidden or library use, either one, since it's a filing cabinet. Sort of a file system.
Spot's a little.
You can push it if you like, or you can just decide that there's nothing really that interesting in there. There's lots of records, dizzying amount of records.
If there's a lot, could I maybe call for somebody else to look
Sure.
through?
Yep, to help you.
So as he's
Maxine could help you. Lottie's busy with the desk. She's just taking books out and flipping them open.
She's also checking to make sure that the inside is the outside. Like, she doesn't, it doesn't say, like, book
I
of
see.
etiquette,
Yes.
and then inside is, like, all sorts of cryptic weirdo stuff.
Mm-hmm. So are you going to keep doing that, or are you going to help William?
She'll go try to help him.
Okay.
I ain't sure exactly what I'm looking for.
So either of you can do the spot hidden, and I'll give you a bonus die since the two of you are working together.
William, you go ahead, because you're going to be kind of telling her what sort of thing you're looking for.
she comes over to help, he's like, "No money."
You go through, but there's so many papers, and it's the way he files is sort of his own weird system, and it's just, I mean, you could spend several days going through this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could always just kind of take stuff at random and we could examine it at our leisure later, but I don't see nothing so far.
Seems to be. Yeah.
Well, you come over here and help me with books.
How long are you gonna stay here, by the way? I'm gonna. So that you've all done a thing. So I'm gonna have somebody rolling luck to see if there's any close calls of maybe an officer walking by or something. Oh, how did I just leave the game? Oh well. So, are you done, or are you gonna stay longer?
Definitely need to look at these books.
Okay.
Question just quickly about the letter that I have from al-Shakti. Is there any sort of like address back that it was sent from? Like maybe a home address at all?
Wait, you found
trying
a
to-
letter? Oh, it was a
The
donation.
donation. Yeah, just to see if I can track back to where maybe al-Shakti might
It doesn't
live.
have an address. It just lists Omar al-Shakti as the donor. There are more details somewhere about that transaction, but they're not here in the accounts. So William, I need you to make a luck check for me.
Come on, Will.
Okay. So that's going to require stealth from someone, and it'll be Lottie this time.
Oh.
None of this. Oh, I'll spend a 7 luck.
Wow. Okay.
No question about that.
No.
All right. You spend 7 luck. So you hear footsteps outside that you almost didn't really notice until they were right outside the door, and they kind of come up to the door and stop, and then walk away with no urgency. And you can continue your search. Nothing seems to happen.
Everybody come over here and go through these books. We want to see if there's anything behind the books, in the books, if these covers are fake.
Sure.
All
Or
right.
some things.
You can do it. Someone can do a spot hidden with 2 bonus dice then.
I will do.
Yes.
Stop.
Okay. You find one section which is oh, sorry, hold on a second. So there's a group of books that are about British law, and you open one of those up, and when you pull it apart, a couple of photographs fall out.
Ooh. Lottie will kind of stoop down and pick them up and look at them.
They are pictures of very scantily clad Arab women.
And I'm assuming this is bad for him.
This is bad for an Arab to have these things.
Ooh, Lottie
And
smiles.
then you open another law book, and a couple more fall out.
Ooh.
In fact, it seems that he has 8 British law books, and it seems that each one of them is a little hiding place for these.
Lottie looks to Maxine and to William and shows them these with a smile on her. I think we'll be doing a little bit of blackmailing in the morning.
Yeah. How are we going to prove these are his, though? Do they actually seem like they were taken anywhere? Does he feature in the photographs
He
at
is
all?
not present in any of them. No, I mean they look like they are posed photographs. Somebody knowingly posed for a camera in a sort of, semi in a 1920s alluring position.
Does it look like the same woman?
No, it's different women.
Looking at the pictures closely, Maxine's very experienced with clubs. Does this look like the back room of a club or someone's personal boudoir?
No, it looks more it's if you carefully look at the backgrounds of these photos, it looks like they were probably taken in 2 different places. But so several of them are in one place and several in the other. And they have the look of a sort of staged boudoir. It doesn't look like an actual living space. It's just like it has a settee that she's like stretched out on, and it's like it's propped,
Max gives it one more hard look and holds it up to the others and says, "Did she look like she's enjoying herself, or was this something she was made to do? What do you all think?"
think she was either made to do it or paid.
What do you think, William? What's your professional opinion?
Can he do a psychology
Yeah,
look?
absolutely.
You've looked at nude photographs before, haven't you, William?
Williams.
A lot of them, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
William's impression is that they don't seem unhappy. They don't look abused or afraid. Maybe a little timid, a couple of them, or shy, but not. They don't look like they're being forced to do this, in your opinion. They don't all look happy about it. Maybe about half of them look like they have at least a reasonably decent smile, like it looks semi-genuine at least. Whereas a couple of them, the worst ones, they just look like they're probably not too happy about doing it. But whether they were forced to do it or just,
Yeah. As he's looking through him, he's kind of like a blank look on his face. Well, it makes me think. Women back in the village.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, if they just look bored, I think if they was really being forced, they'd look more scared. But I didn't catch that in their eye, and apparently you didn't either. So maybe these girls are just pros, and we need to find out where someone finds this sort of girl in Cairo.
I'm feeling that there's some sort of, I don't know, street that has these types of women on it. But the more important thing is, I think we can at least make him squirm if we come to him with these photos.
Let's take some of them, but take a couple, so at least we got a couple of things to compare if we run into these girls at these clubs, or if William does. I doubt they'd even let us in, but maybe.
We should leave a letter in here.
Good idea.
To make him squirm?
I think so. Make him uncomfortable. Oh, or we take one of these photos and underneath that draft that he has, we put one there with a letter. That way he knows someone was in here. Someone knows where he's keeping his dirty photos.
Could make them step up security, though. I know someone's on their tail.
True.
I'll be honest, I was hoping to find more than dirty pictures here. But he doesn't have any, maybe his whole thing is he's just a greedy bastard with, a little pervy side. Shakti got to him with the old-fashioned way, with money.
True, but all those things that he had removed, the letters, I want to find out where they're going, but I haven't been able to find any paperwork. You didn't find anything in the cabinet there.
Maybe we should just take some of the records. I mean, if we're going to let him know we was here, we might as well take the paperwork.
True.
There were so many records.
Well, we've got 3 pairs of arms.
Maybe not take them all, but a good portion.
Leaving the
you can
nudie
imagine
photo in
yourselves
there.
taking about 5% of these, carrying them out.
We'll take a few. Who knows? You might get lucky. Just at least go by date,
Most recent, yeah.
No, that's the thing. He doesn't file them by date.
Oh,
He has his own weird filing system
Files them by new picture.
You're not even sure what his logic is.
This
It's
is
not
Jessica.
alphabetical. It's not by date.
No strange symbols around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's got the bolt on his door. If he was gonna keep anything, mystical or culty, it seems like it. Yeah, but yeah, he's just a pervy old greedy crook. It still doesn't mean we can't shake him down or get something out of it.
Maybe find out where he sent those things. Those statuettes and such.
Anything on the desk?
Just the letter
Letters?
and the note that al-Shakti has been sponsoring the museum a few days ago.
Let's take that letter. We want the authentic thing on that, so he knows we got something solid.
Sure, let's do it. Should we leave the note then? Or we should.
Maybe we leave a little note that says, why don't you meet us somewhere tomorrow to discuss the donation that al-Shakti gave and some interesting photographs.
We have to be careful. Hopefully it doesn't get any guards or police involved. I was thinking we could come back in here into the museum, corner him in his office.
Well, there's guards here. Guards that are probably used to doing whatever he tells them to do. Still, the threat of having the pictures exposed, even if we can't prove nothing, I'm sure that's something that's so shameful to him, he don't even want it to come out at all. Don't want the suggestion.
I think what we should do is we should come here and confront him. That way, if we give him time if we leave him a note and give him time to prepare mentally, he might be a bit more hesitant or prepared to deal with us. But if we confront him right off the bat in the morning or so, he'll be more pliable.
All right, but let's take this this letter that's got this record that's got the donation on it. We don't want him to be able to destroy it.
True. We'll grab it.
All right, so I guess we spend some time putting this office back together then if we don't want to tip him off. I will take a couple of the pictures so that I have one of two different women.
Okay, so you take a couple of photos. All right, and you put the rest of the office back. Are you taking anything else?
The record that shows that al-Shakti donated.
Okay, so you just like pull that out of the book.
Yeah, use the knife and just.
Yep. Okay. You
it
take
out.
that page. Yep. All right. And you, how are you going to sneak out? There's the closest exit is this, this back entrance here. I don't think you want to go all the way to the main entrance. Yep. Okay. So you slip out the door, and you are outside once again.
Still need to translate.
We do. We can take some time this evening. I don't know how much time we have left. Maybe get some small sleeps.
What about the Clive expedition? Still planning on sneaking in?
Oh boy, what time is it?
It's late now. I mean, it's like almost midnight. So it's quiet outside.
The problem is, this time of night, we're definitely going to be noticed driving past the Clive expedition.
Why? I have ideas. Don't know. It'll work out well if we could somehow, because we know there's guards around the Clive expedition. Well, armed guards. I don't know if we could lead them away somehow.
Yeah. You know what I think? I think we should definitely go for it. But maybe not tonight. Maybe we do it tomorrow. So we can have a
Good.
little rest and time to prepare some sort of a distraction.
They do have all my paperwork. I kind of need that back.
Yeah, I definitely want to get you your stuff back. Maybe we just set a fire in the desert tomorrow night somewhere they're going to have to go investigate.
Right. Good idea.
Get some stuff we can burn tomorrow.
Fireworks or something.
Yeah, we'll go to the bazaar, see what we can come up with. Something showy, anyway.
If not, we can get some clothes and some fabrics and such. Burn
Some-
them.
Some wood, some gasoline.
Explosion, if we put enough gasoline on it.
That sounds like a plan. What do you guys want to do for tonight? Do you want to sleep in the truck?
We should find a hotel of sorts.
We had
Maybe.
heard about who was it that said something like a Hotel de Sud or something? Honestly, can I roll an intelligence check to remember what the name of the other hotel was? Or we can just go back and check into that place near in Memphis.
Yep. Okay.
What do you guys want to do? Go to Memphis or Cairo? Memphis is closer to the dig site, but Cairo will have more stuff in the bazaar.
What's closest to the museum?
Think there's anything we could, any way we could get these translated by somebody here?
Is that good enough to remember the name of the hotel we were told that wasn't?
There's a hotel. You don't necessarily even remember the name of it, but there's a hotel right down the street from the museum here, right next to the bridge.
We could just try that place.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay, no problem. You can get it's called the Semiramis Hotel. And you have no trouble getting a room or two.
One room, one bed.
That would certainly raise some eyebrows.
We're his harem. What are you
Yeah, exactly.
getting in?
Okay, so you get a room. I imagine you're all exhausted at this point. That was a long day. So, shall we move on to the next day?
Yep.
All right, it is Sunday the 22nd. And you get up in the morning and
Is the museum closed on Sunday?
no, it's open.
Okay.
Perfect.
You guys want to get in there and try to shake down
Malik?
Kafour's boss?
Sure. Let's hope he's in for one. And two, well, keep one of those pictures in hand there. And if he's arguing against seeing us, then flash him that and say that we'd like to speak to him. He'll be a bit caught off guard, I think.
If that don't work, I'll flash him something else. Apparently,
Don't know if you're his type. You're a bit pasty.
yeah, that's true.
To the museum.
Okay, so you return to the museum. Sorry, I was looking at something there. Back to the museum. And where do you go?
Straight back to Malik.
Okay.
Is that what we're doing?
Aye.
He's probably going to respond better to a man.
At first.
Yeah, backing down in front of some ladies is not what most gentlemen want to do.
Yeah. Probably not.
Get me fired.
All right, so you go to his office, and you hear a rather distracted voice say, "Yes, come in."
You will open up the door. Okay.
And it's him. He looks up, and there's this moment where he looks a little surprised, like, "Who are you?" And then clear recognition on his face, and he says, "Ah, you. What are you doing here?" Come to make up more nonsense?
William starts to look around the room for a minute and just the show you put on the other day.
Show?
Pretending.
If anyone put on a good show, it was you. Or I should say, a very poor show.
Tended to nothing about this, I suppose.
Nothing about what? More dead ends and embarrassments? What are you playing at? You are British, I can tell from your accent. Who put you up to this?
The lady's in there now.
Oh yeah, we've been in here, and then Maxine closed the door.
Look over them. Want to begin.
You're breaking up a little bit, William. Is he breaking up for you guys?
Yeah, it is a smidgen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll look over to them if they want to begin.
Dr. Malik, of course, you know, the three of us, and the disappointment that happened the other day, but we just have a few questions, especially about a recent donor that the museum had.
Oh, slow down. Your English is very strange.
Apologies. Well, like I said, we had a question about a donation that was received from the museum a couple days ago from Mr. al-Shakti.
His eyes narrow just a little bit, and he coughs and says, "What about donations? We get donations all the time. What is your point?"
Yeah, it's just the timing's kind of interesting, seeing as Mr. al-Shakti obviously has a personal stake in all this. We also wondered if...
Personal stake. He is a patriot. He is an Egyptian nationalist.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You know, that's what all them ladies who are terrified of him out in the villages say. Anyways, so we was wondering if that was just to, if that money was just to throw this whole demonstration off, or if he was just paying you for them artifacts you stole out of the Clive expedition find.
What are you talking about?
If she
You're
starts
spouting nonsense.
naming some things from memory, statuette of, with a crocodile head about 3 inches high. Statuette, featuring that she just.
He rises to his feet and he says, I don't know exactly what game this is that you are playing at, but you had best come to the point very quickly. I am losing my patience.
We want to know exactly what Shakti asked you to do in exchange for that donation.
He just laughs. He said, you have never heard of a rich man wanting to show his patronage. Perhaps this is strange in the West, but in Egypt, that is how a man shows his greatness.
Well, I suppose you won't have any trouble producing them items that you borrowed out of the Clive expedition then. Or at least explaining where they went.
Those items are being examined by experts.
Oh yeah. What experts? Because I figured all the experts would be here in the museum.
Well, I'm afraid Dr. Kafour is not expert enough. These are very interesting, very rare finds, and they require extra special research.
Oh yeah, from British fellas, I bet. British fellas with the Penhew Foundation, if I'm not mistaken.
The details of who is inspecting them is not important.
Oh, it might be important when I'm sure that it's not just you who owns this museum, that occasionally there's audits, there's an overview, an oversight board. It's at least going to be looking strange when you can't say where exactly they are.
He just starts laughing. He says, perhaps in England, yes, these things are true.
Lottie looks over to Maxine.
I've got a fascination occasionally with British laws. Sometimes I find strange things within the books. Did you find anything strange in these sort of books there, Maxine?
Yeah, it's true. I ain't no legal expert, but you do occasionally find something interesting in them. And then she just looks at Dr. Malik.
He doesn't quite seem to be following you. He seems distracted a little bit. Like he didn't quite catch that reference.
William's gonna. Are his books there?
Yes.
Like on the shelf?
Yeah, the books are exactly as you left them.
He's gonna be panning his fingers across the books.
He raises a finger and says, you don't have permission to touch my books.
He'll look over towards him. Oh, sorry. And maybe pull one out on accident.
One of the law books?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He says you can see there's a momentary panic, and he says, put that back.
He's just gonna let it drop, as if it was an accident that he pulled it out totally.
So drop to the floor?
Yeah.
Well, when you drop it, you can see he immediately reacts as anybody would, in surprise and alarm of you've dropped something, and the book hits, and one of the photos sort of slides part way out, and he kind of hurries around the desk.
Oh, what's
to
that?
The book.
William, you clumsy boy, you better pick that up.
He's going for the book. He's saying, let me get that.
He's, William's gonna pick up the picture, and
You kind of snatch it up right before he can get to the book.
William will show it to
And
him.
he says, I'll take that back, please.
Oh my.
Maxine just fans herself.
A scandalous photo there, Dr. Malik.
I'm sure some British guy must have left it there.
You can see his face and head getting red. And he says, you'll give that back to me this instant.
Oh, of course, of course. Give it back to him, William.
William hands it back to him, and smiles, nods.
He just kind of shoves it back into the book and closes the book up and takes it over to his desk.
Max is going to try a bluff. You know, Dr. Malik, there's only so many procurers of that sort of product in the city of Cairo. And I happen to be acquainted with every single one. As a matter of fact, I think I recognize that lady.
You have his attention. He's opening a drawer and putting the book in a drawer, and he's having a little trouble like jamming it in there. So he's getting himself worked up a little bit, and you're saying this, and he's clearly listening, and he just kind of you can see a little like light go off in his head, and he just stops and looks up at you and listens.
Well, you know, most of the time these folks are pretty discreet. But a woman only makes so much money doing the things that she does. And sometimes a little bit more money comes along. And when she has a choice between posing for nudie photos or just, telling some secrets to the right people who might be deciding, that they need somebody more respectable on the board of an important, prestigious museum.
He starts to come around the table, and William, you're concerned that he's about to get violent. Like you can see this rush of anger, and he's moving towards Maxine.
If he takes another step,
Oh, he doesn't look like he's stopping. Like he's coming around the desk, and you've been around angry men enough to to see that he's not thinking terribly rationally right now. He's enraged about this.
William's gonna slam him into the wall.
Max is going to punch him in the stomach.
Oh,
If he gets to Max, it looks like William might be grabbing him and slamming him up against the wall. So William, make an unarmed attack for me to grab him. I'll give you a bonus die because he's not really paying attention to you. His focus is on Maxine.
oof.
So you get a hand on him, but he actually, with surprising vehemence, like you kind of figured you could play it a little softer. He just kind of very quickly brushes you aside and kind of knocks you a little off balance, and is in reach of Maxine. Maxine, you said you were going to punch him. Go ahead. He's not expecting a punch.
Yeah, where's my brawl? I'm looking.
It's just unarmed. It should be in the first
I might
section.
not have it.
First section. The first section is all the combat related stuff.
Oh.
That is not a hit.
No, Natalia.
Not a hit.
Not a hit. So he goes to grab for you. You may dodge or fight back.
I think she'll fight back.
Okay, then it's your unarmed against his unarmed. And, oh, you beat him. So you actually punch him. He is, you kind of swung, and to him it seemed like just this sort of, you know,
Girly whiff.
yeah, girly attempt to just kind of like to protect
Fail.
protect yourself against him. So he didn't really take it very seriously, and he just sort of like as you did that, he just sort of like half grabbed your wrist to get it out of the way, and he went to like grab you by the throat, and then your other fist comes up and takes him across the chin, and he staggers back. And he staggers back towards you, William, so you can do something if you want.
William, he just wants to restrain him, I guess, like pin him up against the wall.
Yep.
Or...
You go ahead and make an unarmed attack with a bonus die. Oh, very nice. Yeah, you grab him and what is your strength?
Pretty strong lad.
I think you're stronger than he is. Yeah, you're stronger than he is, and he's a little off balance. So yeah, you get your arms like around him. Are you holding him like in a bear hug or something, or what?
More just like maybe an arm bar and kind of shoving him, pushing him into the wall or into the books, whatever's kind of there.
Yep.
So
you kind of push. Yeah, you kind of push him into the bookcase, up against the bookcase, and he's like, "Argh!"
Oh, Doctor, I'd be careful about hitting the white woman.
He says,
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. It's a good thing you didn't leave a mark.
He says, "I'll have you people arrested."
Oh, I don't know if you should say that. I mean, we can show them all the other photos that you have hidden around in your bookshelf.
We could call the guards in right now. I'm sure they'd be interested.
Sure, your community would be interested.
They all work for me, and I will swear that they're not mine.
What about the people then? About your community finding all about this?
Because, honestly, Doctor, these photos, you're right, you could say they aren't yours, but the girls in the photos,
he says,
loose lips, sink shit.
Why are you doing this to me?
I just have a few questions that we want honestly answered, Doctor. That's all. Then we'll leave you be.
Don't ask your questions. And he kind of turns to you, William, and it's like face to face. You can feel his hot breath, and he just says, "Let me go."
So,
And,
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you.
William. I was going to say something, but William just pushes him back towards his desk, lets him out of the arm bar,
Okay. Yeah, when you guide him back to the desk, and when you let go of him, he just kind of he straightens his suit, and looks very irritated that you've mussed it. And then he just kind of stands and kind of leans forward on his desk and says, "Well, go ahead, I'm listening. You have my attention now."
Good. So, what exactly for that donation from al-Shakti did he ask you to do or not do?
And don't tell us that it was just a donation. We know al-Shakti better than that. We know him quite intimately.
Ooh,
Mr. al-Shakti has been a long-time donor to this museum. There were certain items that he was interested in. He has an interest in that period of time. From the new find, the McGirnas.
Oh, that's perfect. You might want to let us know where you've been sending them, then the full address.
The full address?
Eh?
I didn't send them there. He had a person come and get them.
Does he have a pickup coming anytime soon?
They're already gone.
You're not being very helpful here, Doctor.
What more do you want me to say?
Why
He
don't you tell
he
us?
makes large donations, and in exchange, it is incumbent upon me to indulge his requests on occasion when he wants certain things. He is a collector. So very well. Officially, they are being examined, but you cannot prove this. But they are a gift to him in exchange for the donation. The donation was far more than their worth.
Collector of lots of things. Women too, I suppose.
I don't know about the women, just the art.
All right, so why don't you lay out exactly what happened when Dr. Kafour came and talked to you about the secret passage in Mycerinus? Exactly who did you talk to about that? And were you given instructions? Or what I mean by that is, what instructions were you given?
I reported it immediately to everyone on the committee.
Is al-Shakti on the committee?
Yes, he is on the committee.
Son of a bitch.
Why does this surprise you? He is a man with great interests in Egyptian pride and art, and in
He's so
preserving our history.
He's
Of
so
course he's on
interested
the board.
She's so interested in doing this, Doctor. Then you know he stopped a huge find from coming about in Mycerinus. It's because of him that nothing was found.
I don't believe that for a second.
You're blinded there.
Blinded by your greed, and I doubt you're not even half as blinded as you pretend to be. You know what kind of a man he is deep down, because you know what kind of a man you are deep down, and you know what a kind of man you'd be if you had his kind of money. You know how that sickness inside you would multiply
You can
and feed.
you can see his teeth are starting to show, and he's getting worked up again. And as you say, he kind of raises one finger and kind of points to the door, and he says, "I told you what you wanted. Now get out and don't trouble me again, or there will be trouble for you."
Trouble for us. I wish it was as simple as trouble.
William nods to them and looks at him.
Well, I suggest that you don't report this incident to your review board.
He doesn't say anything. He just glares at you.
Good to see you again, Dr. Malik.
And he sneers at you.
Oh,
He says,
also,
"I don't ever want to see you again."
you might want to think about redrafting that letter that you're about to send. Maybe something a bit more kind.
He looks at you, and you can see it dawning on him that you took it. And you snuck into my office?
Oh, I apologize. You've no proof there, Doctor.
You think two dames is going to be going to sneak into your office? You think you own these fellas? You think you can trust them? And she kind of jingles her bag. You'd be surprised at what a few English pounds can buy around here. Loyalty.
Get out! Get out! He points at the door again. You can see he's really getting worked up now.
Just think about what else they might have found, she says, and kind of blows him a kiss and a wave, and then heads toward the door.
He watches you go.
And as Lottie's leaving, she's just gonna look.
Sorry, I'm not your type.
William will, William will kind of tip his hat as he leaves. Close the door.
We should go now.
Guys,
Let's go get lunch and leave.
to the step.
Quick, let's
Yeah.
get out of here.
Max, like as they start to hurry toward the front door, she kind of holds them all back and kind of just forces them to slow down and walk. You know, we got this. Stay calm. Walk slow.
Wait,
Be confident.
wait. Before we go, I think we should just take a quick visit to the pay section. Just let Kafour know with a couple of words, just exactly who he's working for.
Knew
If
this
you-
would happen.
Mhm.
We tell the wrong people. Knew it.
You know, we could do that. I don't know if now's the right time. But I'm willing to do it now, or we can write him a letter. Whatever you think is best.
Let's write him a letter. We can write it in Arabic, so it's a little less conspicuous. We
Yeah.
should go.
Okay, you go. You're back out on the streets.
All this extortion's got me hungry.
Yeah, and Max holds out her hand. It's kind of like shaking. All that adrenaline.
Very exciting. Good job there, William. I'm impressed.
Impressed, are you?
Hey, you ever
mean-
seen a man slam another man so hard?
Although I gotta thank you for letting me get in at least one shot. Appreciate it. Vote of
Make the
confidence
intention
there.
too.
Thought about warning him. Unleash ladies upon him.
Hey, Lottie, I told you I was Irish. 4 brothers. And she kind of holds up her fists again.
You got more Irish fighting spirit than I do.
I wouldn't say it's the spirit. Maybe just more of the
Power.
forced training that 4 brothers will give.
I'm happy that you got such training when you were young. I'm a bit useless when it comes to any sort of drunken fist fights.
Yeah, well, it ain't never too late to learn, but you got other skills. I still think you should have left them some of your bloomers.
I only have a limited amount of bloomers.
That's true. I think we're headed over to find some lunch somewhere.
Yep. Okay. You know a couple of places that you have been relatively pleased with, so yeah, you can go to a restaurant and have some lunch.
Maybe we write a letter to Kafour and get a courier, and we can decide exactly what it says later, because it probably won't come into play this session.
Yep. Sounds good. And after lunch?
Need to buy some fuel for whatever
Oh, right.
fire we're
for
going to
a
be making.
bonfire. Easy enough.
Bonfire.
hmm
Some
If there's any-
marshmallows.
See if there happen to be any Chinese fireworks on the bazaar.
That is unlikely, but possible. Let's see. Maxine, luck check me.
You should also get some gas, pour
That's-
it on, and then stand far away because it's going to be a huge
Oh
explosion.
my! There are some
Wow!
Chinese. You do actually find a little a bazaar that has some fireworks, which is really weird.
We buy him out.
Completely.
Okay.
You know what we could do besides, well, start fireworks out in the middle of, well, the desert to get them to go out to it. In case they start coming towards us, we could fire the fireworks at them.
They may never seen fireworks before.
Maybe not.
Make arcane gestures and act like it's a spell.
Wear wetsuits. If they can be lifting sarcophagi, we can be firing spells at them.
Damn it. Shakti, we never had a chance getting back into my Cyrenus.
No, unfortunately not.
What do you bet? He's on the phone. Gonna contact al-Shakti, I bet.
Oh, very much.
Yeah, well, Shakti knows we're gunning for him.
True. I don't know if we're going to be considered a thorn in the side or some sort of major enemy now.
Yeah, he may just laugh. I mean, honestly, we didn't get anything too useful other than some confirmation.
Maxine, why don't you give me an intelligence roll? In your experience with gangsters and criminals in Chicago, you've kind of learned that when an underling or someone like the doctor does get sort of exposed in a situation like this, they're not going to run off to their boss and tell them of their failure.
Yeah,
And
it makes you look bad.
and yes, potentially be censured for it or worse. They tend to just hide it. If it's not going to come out, they stay quiet typically.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And if this guy has any suspicion that al-Shakti is a baddie, then he's going to want to protect his own neck.
And he's certainly not going to say, "Hey, by the way, I spilled the beans about you getting this our arrangement."
Because I got extorted.
Sorry about that.
Vulnerability.
Yeah, he's not.
Now you're going to have to kill me and all those ladies.
Unless he has some extreme devotion to al-Shakti, he is not going to say anything.
Since he doesn't appear to be a member of the cult, I don't see that. Yeah, I think we're okay. I'll be surprised if he goes into Shakti because he's going to look like an asshole who might need to be eliminated.
That's comforting.
Yeah, William lightens up a little bit after she says that too. Seems like it was worrying him. And he looks over to the stand. Did we buy some of these? What is this? Auto rockets.
Oh, no. Look at this one. She holds up like one that's like as big around as, her two hands can't fit around it. Yeah, this is what we want. This is the big guns.
Oh, didn't even think I could hold that. It's huge.
Guess we'll have to leave it to William.
You got big hands there, William.
Probably used to handling about that size.
Oh my. Got the
I can see
vapors.
William. His face is all red.
We've been living in close quarters for the last few days.
Yeah.
I've been stuck in a basement for 3 weeks.
True.
What do you think?
Get easy. He gets red faced and embarrassed anytime they make any joke like it or anything.
They probably just pick up some extra clothes and stuff while they're at the bazaar, just normal supplies to keep them going.
Okay. Just be like this isn't all expensive stuff, but do keep in mind you don't have bottomless pockets either.
No, well, William and Max might have to go in together for the firework.
Yeah, they're not cheap. I mean, it's relatively cheap, but they are rare, so they're not that inexpensive, really.
They one of those strings of firecrackers or something, and
Yeah, and there's a few actual launchable rockets.
yeah, something like that would definitely get attention, or sound like gunfire or something.
Yeah, there's definitely some that just kind of snap off, or pop off rather. But most of them are, little rockets on tubes that you just stick in the ground and you light it, and it's a rocket. It shoots up and will explode.
As they're doing that, he says, anyone translate these for us? Anyone you could think of?
The text, so you can
Yeah.
find out. Oh, that's why we got the book and the dictionaries. We're going to be taking some time.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I just don't really know anybody in Cairo
Yeah.
other than Dr. Malik and Dr. Kafour.
Maybe Dr. Malik will do it.
We should have helped at gunpoint to translate 3 volumes.
Yeah. And Lottie, you didn't really have any time to come across anyone. Although I'll give it a small chance.
Oh.
If you make a credit rating check, you'd have to get an extreme success to have just sort of briefly met somebody when you first arrived in Cairo with the Clive expedition. You might have run into an academic or something, at these. There are always little gatherings and that sort of thing. Like the Clive expedition was briefly entertained at the residency when it first arrived, which is pretty typical. Possibly you ran into somebody.
Try, I guess.
No.
Unless I can spend the luck.
Yeah. Not quite.
Couldn't I spend the luck to get an extreme?
No, you don't want to do that. Don't do that.
Okay.
Just to find somebody that can try. I mean, you can go around. You can spend a day in Cairo just looking, trying to network and find an academic. They're out there. It's just, it takes time to find somebody.
We don't have too much time.
I mean, if you really want to spend trying to think what it would be, you would need, say 5. You'd need to spend 5 luck.
Done.
Okay. I'm used to my other group. Not like they worry about spending like 2 luck. They're like, because they know you make a lot of luck checks, and so every time you spend luck, you're just,
That's why I started
you're
with
slicing
90.
away at it. Yeah. All right. So yeah, you actually, if you spend it, you remember meeting an academic, a linguist, a German gentleman at the embassy, or at the residency. You remember his name, and he seemed he was you had a conversation with him, and he speaks and reads many languages. So you're fairly certain he ought to be able to handle this.
Lottie kind of snaps her fingers together. Oh, I remember. When I first came here, I met a German fella.
You would just have to ask at the residency where you might find him. Would be your lead.
Gotcha. If we go back to the residency, I might be able to find out where he's staying, and maybe we can get him to translate this, make it easier.
All right, that sounds all right.
Let's go.
All right. Yeah, I mean, at the residency, it takes a little while, but with William, if William asks, everybody there knows him. They're eager, they're happy to help him. And yeah, it turns out that Dr. Leibowitz is staying right next door at the Semiramis Hotel, where you were the last night.
The Leibowitz.
Perfect. Let's maybe head back to the hotel and see if we can get in contact.
Yep. So you ask at the front desk. They send a messenger up, send a boy up to the room, and the doctor comes down to meet you, and he recognizes you right away, Lottie. You could see he was a little taken with you at the little reception, and he goes, "Oh, what a great pleasure to see you again."
It's good
And
to see you again.
he has a monocle, of course, and he kind of stoops forward to take your hand, and gives it a very well practiced kiss. And he says, "To what do I owe this great pleasure?"
And I was actually thinking about you
Oh,
the other day, and
were you?
thought I'd... Yes, indeed. Thought I'd take the step to get in contact with you.
That was well over a month ago. I have been here all this time. I'm disappointed it took you so long.
I apologize, I've been quite busy with the Clive expedition, all that.
Yes,
I
I heard about all of that business.
Unfortunate.
That is very unfortunate. I'm sorry you got mixed up in all of that.
M2, but something I was actually going to ask you if you wouldn't mind. I found this text, and I'm not the best translator. I only know a few languages.
I do. You do remember something of me then. I'm touched. Yes. Oh, yes, of course. And what do you wish me to do? This is very unusual.
I understand.
Yes. What is this? What is this script?
That's what I don't know at all. I just was wondering if you can help translate.
He says, "Well, this is no script that I recognize. It is a corruption of something, I have no doubt."
She'll produce the oh goodness, which book is this?
The Latin one.
Yeah, the Life as a God. No, it wasn't that one. That's the one she's reading currently. It was the Election de Livre
Yes.
de Yvonne. Yeah, she'll produce that book to him.
He says, "Where did you come by this book, my dear?"
I got it. I won it actually in a sort of a bet with a rich individual.
This rich individual had no idea the value of what he had. He says, this is a very rare volume you possess. Take very good care of it. It is worth a fair amount of money to the right buyer.
Unfortunately, I'm currently not looking for a buyer, but I was thinking we saw. I found traces of the script on this rabbin here in this book, and I can't read Latin, mind
I
you.
see.
I was
Well,
wondering if there's a translation or something.
He runs his finger over it, and you can see him kind of puzzling it out. He says, I don't think it is a translation. Well, it might be. I will need some time. Do you mind if I borrow this volume? I swear to you, he puts his right hand up. He says, I swear to you I will give the book back unharmed.
She nods. Of course, I understand it will take time, but any amount of time it's worth it. It might lead to a big find. Is why I'm so interested.
He says, perhaps when I have finished my study of it, you and I could have maybe a personal dinner sometime. And he kind of glances at Maxine and William, and just kind of smiles at them.
I was hoping you'd ask. I didn't want to be too forward myself.
Well, you don't have to be afraid to be forward with me. Really, that's very sweet of you.
See,
You're
I
very
told
modest.
you, Lottie. I told you that it wasn't just a one-sided thing.
She
Maxine,
says, you flatter me. He looks a little flustered. You can see him kind of adjusting his monocle and fidgeting a little bit. He says, well, I do very much look forward to our dinner, and it will be my motivation to translate it as quickly as possible.
Lottie smiles widely and gives him her room number.
just make sure to get them to contact me once you're done or whenever you want to do the dinner.
Oh, you're right here in the same hotel? Oh,
I am indeed.
well,
Serendipity.
perhaps we could meet for dinner even before, or would that be considered cheating?
I would not be opposed. Tomorrow?
Well then, perhaps tonight then.
Tomorrow would be better.
Yes,
I
yes.
got a
Of course,
slight engagement.
Of course, that was a bit too forward of me.
It's fine.
Yes, tomorrow night would be fine. Shall we say 7 o'clock? That seems to be the proper hour here for such things. Dinner,
Yes.
I'm talking about, of course.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Excellent. Well, it was very nice meeting your friends, whatever their names are.
I still see it, yes.
Yes. And he just kind of bows a couple of times and backs away, almost like he's in front of royalty, and turns and almost stumbles on the step on the way up the stairs, and he gets halfway and gets to the landing and kind of turns and gives you this kind of wave and goes on up the steps.
We gave him the book, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
And I think we gave him
And
the
the
rubbing.
rubbing, yep. He's hoping you'll
Translate.
give him a rubbing later.
That's the price. The price of knowledge.
Wait a minute. He was gonna look at Lottie and be like, "I give that man a heart attack."
Apparently, didn't know that people are so into short Irish girls.
Well, he's kind of a large, dumpy German academic.
Ah,
So-
makes sense.
It's, you know.
Reminds me of my father.
Oh no.
Just more bold. It's alright, I got daddy issues, it's fine.
Does your father need a talking to?
My father
Going
needs
on a
spanking.
date?
Well, that
Nice.
was serendipitous, as they say.
Apparently.
Well, these short, chubby fellas really seem to have a thing for you.
That's all I can attract, these short, chubby fellas.
Well, I wouldn't say that's all you can attract, but there does seem to be a pattern.
Apparently. What do you think, William? If you were shorter and fatter, what did you think of me?
William's red-faced again, and he's like, "You're bad-looking, bad on the eyes for an Irish."
Not bad looking.
Oh,
Alright, I see where you stand there, William.
What a silver tongue.
You can see he's like totally flushed now. He's like, "Take a drink. I need a drink."
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's some not bad looking women in the bar.
If you can find a tall drink of water there.
Yep, there's a bar right in the hotel.
As he stands up, he's like, "You
Didn't
What was
catch
that,
that.
William?
both of you like a drink?"
If they've got real drink here, that would be a small but appreciated blessing.
Oh yes. Yes.
Whiskey.
Yep. You are allowed to drink in the hotel.
Hooray.
Yeah, William will get them all a drink.
Okay.
Lottie looks a bit excited as they sit down just for, even if this all goes a bit tits up, if we get this translation and we're able to get back into my seeriness, this will be a huge find. Even this alone, it'd be amazing.
Just
Especially
being
if
able to.
Hmm?
It's true. I mean, just being able to translate that gobbledygook sounds like it'd be a groundbreaking discovery.
I will, and hopefully it actually works. We can get in, and if we can, then we can bring people back. We can, I don't know, get another expedition, maybe led by you there, William, and then we can actually get some sort of. I'm getting ahead of myself. She takes another drink of her whiskey.
Well, and Max holds up her glass for a toast. Here's to a little bit of luck coming our way, to naked ladies, to fireworks, and
To all right looking women.
all right looking women. All the all right looking women in the whole damn world.
I get here.
William smiles and laughs and raises his drink. Toast.
That actually seems like not a bad note to end on.
It's a perfect note to end
Yeah.
on.